Hello APBA friends of APBA Golf, Dr. TC here, and I am with the great Bobby Jones, number 5 at DC Metro, and let's take a look at how we deal with hitting the ball when we're in the trees and determining when we're in the trees. So here's Bobby Jones, and his ball is just barely in the trees, not a full square. We measure perpendicularly is the rule. When we perpendicularly measure back to the center line, how many squares in the tree is he? Not even a full square. So guess what? He's not in the trees. He has to be one square to be considered in the trees and at least 2 squares to be considered stymied in the trees. All right, so in the basic game, it's a little different. I'm going to bypass that for now. We'll work with the advanced rules here, and we'll see what Bobby can do. Well, in this case, he's not in the trees, and he just uses the rough column. Why is that? Well, for one thing, he's going to have a pretty good shot out of there. He's probably not even going to have his swing impeded as a right-hander, not at all. The ball is just under the tree here, and he's got a lot of room to swing in and swing out. Sharp folks might say, well, that wouldn't work very well for a lefty. You're probably right. And let's move it over here, and here's a situation where Jones is not a full square deep into the trees, but the trees are mostly on his left, so you could make an argument that he would be under them as a righty. I don't play it that way. I keep it simple. You're either in the trees or you're not. If you wanted to do the lefty-righty thing, that's completely up to you. All right, so Jones hits it from the rough here. If he's aiming to, if he's shooting for pin 4, he can aim. At these other pins, he cannot aim, and he has to use the center line. All right, situation 2. Jones is going to go over to this side where we were. We have a much thicker forest of trees, and we'll put his ball right here. What's that look like? Well, we know what that looks like. Moving perpendicularly back to the center line. That's 1, 2.5. It's more than 2. He's stymied. Now, if he were here, he's more than 1. So he's not that less than 1 gift where he's from the rough. So here he would be in the trees, or what we call under a tree. And here he would be stymied. Let's do one more. Let's move up a little bit further. Here is Jones, and he is in this spot. Let's see if we can get a better look. There we get my fat finger out of the way. My goodness. All right, so we are not even a full square in the tree. You can see that. Not even a full square. So again, he's going to hit from the rough. But if he's here, he is more than a square into the tree, more than a line segment into the tree, and that would make him under a tree, and we would use the under a tree column. And let's do the last one. What if he were here? He is 1, 2, moving perpendicularly, 2.5. He's more than 2. He's stymied. That's a nasty place to be. So what Jones is going to do in this last case is he's going to use the stymied. Get that focused. That's better. He's going to use the stymied column. When you're stymied, that's a term we use in golf to say that you're behind the 8 ball. You've got nowhere to go. It's going to take a miraculous shot. There's a lot of trees between you and your escape route for the most part. You can complicate this if you want, and you can draw angles to determine whether you're just under a tree or stymied. But I use the general rule of counting back towards the center line on a perpendicular to determine what to do. All right, on the next video, we're going to have Mr. Jones hit a couple of shots. Until then, farewell, my friends.